This shit is not a liquidation. Motherfuckers out there saying Amazon liquidation. This ain't no damn liquidation, man. Amazon has been trading between 3 and 4 grand for a long time now, for quite some time. This is normal. Um, just a couple weeks ago, they had a little bit of a sell-off here, and it lasted between the 15th to the 19th. And I even went back and double-checked AMC on the 15th and the 19th, and everything basically moved this same way between the 15th and the 19th. So there wasn't like a liquidation here, and then AMC went up. So there's no correlation that a liquidation and Amazon, this big company, is like Citadel having to close out positions to buy AMC. There's no correlation to that. If I were a betting man, there was a large purchase probably of puts, probably in this area, probably somewhere between there. Someone bought some puts maybe, and probably had shares, maybe shares from way back here, and they made money on and decided to sell a portion of those shares here, automatically putting their puts in some money and then seeing if they could scare some people into a sell-off to make their puts more valuable, possibly. And then here would most likely be exercising some of those puts to sell those shares immediately and enabling them to make even more profit on some puts that they're probably just going to sell off, just sell those contracts after this. And it just looks like a normal play from an institutional investor, no doubt. But this is not a liquidation, and I wouldn't be shocked if, I'd like to see if this goes down maybe a little closer to 3 grand. And that may be a good entry point. This may be a good entry point. I don't know. I haven't been following Amazon that much just because it's a very pricey stock to get into, especially if you want to play options. But I don't know. I'm going to follow this just to see what it does. Trade tomorrow, open. But this is not a liquidation in any way. It's not fucking have anything to do with AMC. It just literally looks like a normal play from an institutional investor somewhere. It could be an independent investor who's got a lot of money. I don't fucking know. But again, like less than 2 weeks ago, the same thing happened. There was roughly the same type of drop in price. It's nothing for a company like this that trades in the thousands to have a fluctuation of $400-$500 that can happen in a day. It's not a huge deal. And then maybe it may take a week or so to recover fully, but Amazon has done nothing but trend up. It's like since its inception, it just trends up. So nothing to really get super excited about, in my opinion. Could be wrong. This could be the start of a trend. Maybe opening, everyone's going to fucking sell off. But until I see this shit go down below like 3 grand, I'm not even going to insinuate there's any sort of liquidations going on. As far as the shareholder count and shit, I know a lot of people are mad about it, and understandably so. I was frustrated. It's been a frustrating week overall, honestly. I'm just tired. So tired. Funny fucking story though. Like, I don't know. I'm in my mid-30s, and I don't know, like roughly a year ago, I met some girl on Tinder. She's like 25 or 26 or something like that, and she's in that mode, still hanging out with friends from college and shit and partying and whatnot. So I hung out with her for a couple days, and her friends were cool. Got along with all of them good, and they had like one of them big homemade fucking slip and slides going down the hill. The homegirl's on some land and like set up, get to the bottom of the hill, and then you're playing like flip cup, and whoever runs to the team first wins, whatever. And I'm a beast. Like, I'm coming down this shit like I'm sliding in the second, and I'm popping up at the bottom and running to the table, and I ain't gonna be showing up by no little 23, 24, 25-year-old boys that didn't even play sports, because we're not competitive in this generation. Everyone gets a trophy, and all that matters is you try. Nah, not when I grew up. If you were playing sports, it's because you intended to be good at that fucking sport. Bottom line. It's like, I didn't just play shit just to play it. I played soccer 1 year, wasn't for me. It was like kindergarten, but still, I was like, it wasn't for me, not my thing. And I started playing baseball and football, and I fucking loved it, and I excelled at it. And then I played street ball and street hockey, and I loved those things. Like soccer just wasn't my jam, so I didn't play. And I think that every kid should parents should put them in extracurricular sports activities, and if they're not good or they don't like them, you don't make them play. You don't fucking be like, well, I want him to be included in this, and these kids are too good, and they're too rough, and they're gonna hurt my baby. Shut the fuck up, for real. Like, they have sports where your baby won't get hurt. Or maybe I played chess too. Like, I was on a chess club and shit too. I excelled in academia and sports. Like, it's not, you don't have to be one or the other. You don't. But the majority of kids are. They're either academically gifted or they're athletic. Um, but still, either way, yeah, I'm down there like sliding up in fucking second base and popping up and shit. And man, dude, like, the next day I woke up and my back was fucked up, like my lower back. And I thought it was her dogs, dude. These big ass dogs that slept in the bed. And they slept on my leg. And I was like, all right, well, this big pit bull bitch done made my leg fall asleep or something. And I'm not joking, for the last year, I'm talking year, this August will be 1 year. Every morning I'm paralyzed. Every fucking morning I am paralyzed. My lower back is just locked up. It takes me like 30, 40 minutes to fucking finally get shit. And I gotta like take my hands and move my legs and shit to get my body to start moving like it should. And like, I had no idea what it was. I'm thinking I got like kidney problems because I'm drinking so much coffee, and the pandemic done fucked up my workout regime. Like this, all these things running through my head. And yesterday I was finally able, like, I've dated a lot of women in the medical field and sports medicine, females and shit, that taught me how to stretch and how to adjust and how to do, like move certain parts of your body correctly so that they're in place. And I have not been able to get my hips to realign. Like, they've just felt out of whack since that whole ordeal. And yesterday I finally got like my hip to just pop and feel like it went back into place. And I woke up finally tonight, like, and it didn't even dawn on me until after I was making my coffee and shit. I was like, oh my God, I just got right out of bed today. And I was so excited. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even think about it. My back doesn't hurt. Did I fix it? And I'm so scared to move, guys. Like, I'm so afraid that I'm gonna move in a short direction and fuck it all back up. And like my hip's just gonna fuck up again. I'm moving like a grandpa today. I am. I'm like afraid to bend over too far or turn too far to the side. Ugh. It's just sucks when you get old, especially, man, I put my body through shit, like, from a young age. I remember I separated my shoulder playing football and literally had the coach just duct tape my fucking arm around, like a wrap the duct tape around my body to keep my shoulder just pinned where it should be in place, because that bitch was flopping around. And went out and finished the game, and then finished fucking 7 games we had left in the season with a fucking separated shoulder ligament just done. Never went to the doctor, nothing, till like 7 years later, and finally got surgery for it. And the dude fucked my surgery up, literally fucked it up. So that shoulder is fucked up for the rest of my life. I need an actual shoulder replacement to fix it, and I ain't doing that shit until I'm like damn near 50 or 60. Fuck that. I'll live with it. So off topic, whatever. I just thought that it was funny. Like, literally just talking about getting old, and man, he's fucking feel like Toby Keith, dude. Like, I'm not as good as I once was, but I am as good once as fucking ever. It may cost me a year of pain, which I don't recommend. That shit sucks. But man, I'm really just excited because I think I fixed this. I hope I fixed this. This last year sucked. Like, I'm dead serious. It sucked not being able to move. Scary too. Like, when it first started happening, I didn't know what was going on. Like, sever a nerve somewhere. Am I about to be paralyzed? Who knows? But I'm hoping this continues. I'm hoping after my next sleep, I wake up and I can move again. I'm excited for that. Anyway, back on topic. This is horse shit. This is not a liquidation. It actually already looks like it's going back up. So I don't think this is a liquidation here. The shareholder meeting, like I said, I wrote talking about it. Of course, we all want to know what's going on. We want to know what AMC knows, what Adam Aaron knows. But the fact of the matter remains that if there is some fucked up shit going on, like really fucked up shit, the last people you're going to tell are your investors. They're the last people you're going to tell. You don't want to cause panic. You don't want to cause pandemonium. If it's illegal shit, they have to handle that on the business end. They have to call, whatever, the SEC and be like, hey, something doesn't look right here, whatever. It has to go through all those proper channels. You can't just come out and be like, hey, yeah, there's 10 billion fucking shares, guys, but don't freak out. No one knows how that process goes. Nobody. So they have to figure out if that were the case. They've got to come up with a fucking plan. They have to come up with a plan on how to fix it or remedy it or whatever. They can't just come out and say that shit. It is a little suspicious, and I kind of expected it. I was like, Adam Aaron's either going to come out and be like, the share count is like, this is where it's at, or he wasn't going to say shit because it's so fucking bad. It's so bad that you got to imagine if he comes out and says that shit, it's going to fuck a lot of things up. It would fuck a lot of things up across the market. There would literally be that would be another, this may crash the market. If people hear that there's this many shorts that are going to have to be returned, they're going to close all their fucking positions and jump into this shit. Like, it has to be handled carefully. It does. It has to be. It's just, we've got to think about it from a business perspective, from a legal perspective. I know it sucks. It does. And, we all want this to be over. We do. We all do. But nefarious shit takes time. It just does. The fact of the matter is, this is super illegal on a grand scale. And they can't just return it all and then that be it and wash their hands of it. Somebody is going to get in trouble for this. Someone is going to get in trouble for this. That's just the way it's going to go. So we'll see what happens, I guess. I expected this. I personally take it as good news just because, to me, if everything was normal and everything was fine, it would be no big deal to come out and say exactly what you said a little less than 2 months ago on a live stream, of all places, on a kid's channel. Like, you went on to YouTube to ask us for shares and give out share count information and shit like that. It wasn't that long ago. So to come out now and be very secretive and closed off about it means that something's wrong, and they have to come up with a plan for something, and they don't want to cause pandemonium, and they have to send this. They got to send this information to the SEC first, so it can be logged properly, so it can be documented properly. Like, the SEC has to verify things like that. When there's a share count done and shit, that you don't just get to count it yourself and go, this is what it is. It has to go through a regulatory system that looks at it and goes, okay, yeah, okay, that looks good. Feel free to let your investors know this is where they stand, with their money and blah, blah, blah. So I kind of expected that. There still is a chance that he's just going through the motions, and who knows, he may come out and be like, yeah, we were only able to see 800 and some odd million, which would basically mean like 150% is floating around out there, some shit, which isn't exactly abnormal. Shit happens. So, and again, they stopped using shares. They stopped using direct shares to short. They started using ETFs. ETFs are a separate entity entirely. They may house your stock, but when you buy those ETFs, you don't get voting rights.
Like that's not, you're not getting voting rights to all those stocks. You forego all that shit when you're in an ETF. It's a different scenario. You don't own those shares. You own the bundled up conglomerate of stocks put in to a security. So there's a difference there. And a lot of what's happened the past 5 weeks or so has been ETF related. So you got to understand that. There may only be a certain amount of actual shorted AMC shares that they have been trying to return. That's why it's been so stagnant. They've been shorting through ETFs, which are not going to report on AMC's short list or shareholding count, and they've been returning some of these synthetic shares so that by the 29th, they were still able to keep the price down and return shares. Either way, they still have to return the shorted shares of that ETF. And there was a lot that they shorted, a lot of ETFs, a lot of shares in those ETFs, and all those still have to be returned. All they did was move from one stock to basically another to create the same effect. So even though my personal belief is they are not directly shorting AMC anymore, and they haven't been for a while, they have been shorting it through multiple ETFs that have drove the price down and allowed them to return shares because there's so many synthetics that they did not want this to happen. The 29th come, and then there's just billions of shares, synthetic or possibly or whatever. They'd be fucked. Like that's lawsuits and prison time and all kinds of shit that's coming from that. But still, they've used enough ETFs to equate the price action to actually shorting AMC. So they'll still have to return what they've shorted in the ETFs, which is still going to give you the similar price action in AMC, equivalent to the squeeze. They just changed how they did it. That's it, in my opinion. That's all. So it doesn't really mean anything for me personally. If he came out and was like, yeah, there's still 503 outstanding shares, blah blah blah. Well, it should be like 528,000 now because I don't think 25 million was included in that share count. Maybe it was. I don't know. But still, there's a good chance they returned a lot of these fake shares. A good chance that a lot got returned this past month. A very good chance. This is why you would route orders to the dark pool. This is why you would do all of this. It gives you the opportunity to start covering a lot of these shorts while shorting somewhere else. Like you have to remember, Ortex data, any short data is not correct. It's just not. Not in a squeeze situation like this. It's just not correct. We've already been shown and told how to simulate ownership of shares, how to simulate returns of shares, how to simulate the short interest of shares. It can all be manipulated through option contracts. So we'll see. We'll see what tomorrow brings, how this week wraps up. Yeah, not a whole lot more to talk about right now in that regard. Just patience, just be patient. That's all you can do. Just be patient. Hold your shares, buy more if you want to hold more, do what you gotta do. But the shit does not happen overnight. They don't just snap their fingers and again, you have to start thinking like a hedge fund. They assume that you all are stupid. They do. They assume that you're dumb. They know you're following people who shove Ortex data down your fucking throat. Which is why you've been able to see short position and interest and shit go down, being manipulated. I don't understand. They know you don't understand. They know that, and they are preying off of that. They would love nothing more than to be able to show a very small amount of shorted shares that are outstanding. But in reality, there's a fucking shitload in ETFs that aren't even being looked at because they're not AMC. They're not. They don't count as AMC shorts. They don't. So, either way, all of those still have to be returned, no matter what the share count number is, no matter what AMC directly shows as naked shares outstanding. Even if it wasn't a lot, it wouldn't matter. All of it's been hidden. It's all been moved to a different venue, ETFs. And all that still has to fucking be returned in those ETFs, which is still going to rocket this fucking price up. But this was one of the things I was trying to talk about. This is one of the reasons I put one of the videos out about the 100,000 price target. If they are returning enough, we don't know how many there are, guys. We don't fucking know, and that's the problem. You got all these fucking idiots out here running around saying, oh, it's billions, it's billions. I know it's billions. I haven't seen it, but it's gotta be billions. And I just started trading a fucking month ago, but I'm a goddamn genius. I'm a fucking stock market prodigy, and I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And it's millions, billions, millions, gajillions of naked shorts. And we're going to fucking 1 million, bitch. We're going up there. And if you don't believe me, fuck you. You're not an ape. Even though I've only been here for like 6 weeks. But don't worry about that. It's dumb shit. Very uneducated horse shit being spewed about this because people are not looking at this from a hedge fund's perspective. You're not looking at the criminality in these motherfuckers and what they could and would do to throw you off. That's all they have to do. They just got to confuse you. That's it. Get you to sell, get you to believe in shit that isn't real. That's it. That's it. And again, like I said, I am well aware that a vast majority of the community is not educated in the stock market. I see it by how much you just crave anything AMC, whether it's real, true, thought out, shows proof, doesn't fucking matter. And the vast majority of the community flocks to the shit that offers nothing. Just what you want to hear. That's it. That's all. The vast majority. So I'm well aware that if these guys are doing what I believe they're doing, and if you were to hear, yeah, there's only like 580 million outstanding shares, you'd probably sell. People would be like, oh, that guy, you guys lied. There ain't no shorts, blah, 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 blah. And then everybody sells. Price gets down $110, and then all of a sudden they start returning all the shit in the ETFs they shorted, and this bitch is at like fucking $500 overnight or something. I don't know how that happened. Well, educate yourself. That's all you can do. So, again, let's see what happens tomorrow. And just start trying to look at this as if you're a hedge fund. It's like, start thinking, shit, I'm caught. Shit, I gotta return shares. What can I do to keep the price down so that I can return them and not be paying a fucking fortune? Make these people think that the short interest is fucking nothing. It's peanuts. Make them see that there's not as many naked shorts out there as they initially believed or that there initially were. Like, these guys are smart. This is the problem. Yes, they made a stupid move because retail was completely unaccounted for. They've never had to account for retail having the power to move a stock ever. So this was new to them. They fucked up. They slipped up. But they're geniuses, guys. They are geniuses in the finance world. They have people that have been fucking in this business for years, people that have significant educational background in actual stock markets, all of it, the whole fucking thing, ETFs, all that shit, futures, bonds, all that shit, that are working around the clock for them, the billion-dollar company, the billions-dollar company, and being like, hey, you know what we could do? We could do this right here. We could use about
12, 13, 14 ETFs over here would equal 100% of an AMC share. So basically, if we shorted these over here, it would have the exact same price movement as if you were shorting AMC directly, and we can do it enough to where we're keeping the price here and here. They're not going to be able to make money on their options like they did. We'll make money on the contracts, and you'll be able to return shares. We'll be able to push it down into the low 30s. It would be feasible for you to return there, and we're going to fuck with the short interest, and it's going to look like there's not as many naked shorts out there to these fucking idiots. That's how they're not. They won't know the difference. I do, because it's what I would do. Like, if I was them, that is what I would fucking do. Because it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm trying to think of this like them. Knowing what I know about this community, how educated they are, and knowing what I know about the stock market, and there's more that they know about it than I do. I'm just following the trails of shit. And I just sit here and think about what could they be doing, and then I look into it. There's other things like I know they're moving fucking stocks. I said it before. What's her nuts? Cameraman went on Charles Payne and was like, "Oh, they're moving shit into other countries in 24 hours." And well, yeah, I know that. I've already said that. Like, that is not anything new. Not at all. But we'll see. We're just getting closer. We're getting closer. Just hold strong. Hold your conviction, whatever it is, in your investment. And I just, at this point anyway, no matter what, I mean, if you have your life savings in this, that you should have never done that. Like, that, to me, tells me you don't know anything about the stock market. If you put your entire life savings into this shit, that's just not smart. You have to be able to take care of yourself still. You have to be able to do that. That is just insane. If you don't have the money to have a substantial investment, then guess what? You don't have a substantial investment. You only put, a couple $100 into it. It's still going to be a fucking fat return for you. More money than you fucking have then, but don't be out here like sleeping in ditches and shit because everything you own is in this shit. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I mean, yeah, put a hefty portion of your portfolio in there. That's how my shit is. I have different brokerages. Fidelity is like right now just fucking strictly AMC for the most part. Like, that's it, because I know that that's where my investment is safest. Like, I don't have AMC on any other platform. None. No, actually, I mean, I have a share on Webull and a share on Robinhood just to see, if they try to take the buy button away, whatever the fucking case may be. I just want to be able to expose them for any more fraudulence if it happens. But yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, make sure you guys hit the ×2 on my videos when you see that they're like 20 minutes or more. I mean, again, unless you're, like I said, in the fucking gym and you're on audio and you just want to listen to whatever, you're making dinner or whatever the case may be, and you want to listen to that shit. I'm seriously considering like starting a podcast just because I hate fucking YouTube. I just do. I wasn't allowed to live stream mobile because I don't have 1,000 subs. That's incredible. That's crazy. So, plus I'd like to have a podcast. I like to talk about a lot of other things. A lot of shit that I like to talk about. I may end up doing that. That may be something that I start. Maybe I'll get to go on Joe Rogan and talk to him. Oh, Joe Rogan. Alright, guys. Let's see what happens at the bell. Actually, let's see what's going on with 4 o'clock real quick. Hmm. 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 Well, this is
brand new. This is brand new. I'll make another video about this later, because this is already running into 30 minutes, but this is brand new. This almost looks normal. This almost looks like normal action that happens in a normal stock in these hours. This is just different. But it is following the Green Day pattern here, where these candles are more than this candle here. You get sell and then green, but it is going back up to this little trend, so I'll have to look and see if it comes down, and then we get the little pull down this way again, which is what it did yesterday. But this doesn't look reversed now. This looks like the typical Green Day pattern, like your volume candles here, whatever. Someone may have, this is actually bigger than most of them. It's over 3,000. It's usually a little like around 2 or just under 2. And this one here is only 1,300. So that was the initial pattern that led to it being Green Days. So who knows? I don't know. Like I said, that whole thing looked reversed. Maybe today they have to put it all back the way that it was. I don't know. We'll see. I'll make another one. I'm going to get out of here. This is way too long a fucking video.